Periodically, I'm asked, and sometimes even ask myself, what does it feel like to be the only surviving specimen of the Jurassic Age? And I can tell you that one of the chronic symptoms of that is hallucination. And I'm afraid, as much as I would like to look out into the faces of everyone in this audience today, by way of saying thank you, I can't really see you today because there is a hallucinatory mist between thee and me. As I'm looking out, attempting to look at you, I find the familiar faces looking back at me. I have names like Bob Murphy, Charlie Orth, Dick Gilbert, Jerry Powers, Rita Davison, Saul Lewis, Thomas Hunter Lowe. And I feel, therefore, inevitably, as I stand here on the quarterdeck to receive these psychological and professional treasures, that in a large measure, I am simply receiving these treasures on behalf of that entire ghostly crew. So there is hallucination. And the hallucination manifests itself in another way, not simply in identifying Bob Murphy and Charlie Orth out there in the audience today, but even when I make a correct identification, as with, let us say, the Chief Judge of the state of Maryland. Somehow 20 to 30 years sometimes melt away. Now you may look upon a very distinguished, very able, very talented Chief Judge of the state of Maryland. I don't see her this morning because as I look, the hallucination is such that the time is, let's say, 1990. Very talented office of Judge Gary, no, he's not Judge Gary Baer, he wasn't a judge yet. I'm looking at the talented office of Gary Baer as the head of the Criminal Appeals Division of the Attorney General's office. And I'm thinking back to 89, 90, 91, at a beautiful young woman, keenly articulate, and fiercely intelligent, who was the absolute star of that office at the time. And she got by Gary the big, important cases to argue. And at that time, I was already a 20-year veteran on the court, and everyone knew I had a little bit of a pro-state bias because of 12 years in the Baltimore State Attorney's Office. And therefore, the cases that Mary Ellen Barbero argued were more frequently than not in front of me. And it was a good combination because I made an effort after getting the argument to take the case and attempt to put down on paper the words as she had spoken them to me. And frequently, we were triumphant. We'd go up and win at the Court of Appeals, and all was well, and we'd celebrate. Sometimes we would actually go up on a case or two that we should have won and lost, and it's still great, 30 years later. But we talk about it afterward, and out of chivalry, courtesy, I am not going to remind the Chief Judge of what she had to say about the Court of Appeals on some of the not only with Mary Ellen, and with Mary Ellen I also thought that not simply was she doing a great job professionally, but that was the stage in the life when you begin to climb the slippery pole. And as she began to climb that slippery pole, there was membership in the criminal law section of the State Bar Association. There was also membership, as she became a member, of what we then called Irma's Committee, named for Judge Irma Raker, began in, I think, 1981, the committee to promulgate the criminal rules recommended jury instructions criminal for the state of Maryland. And I remember vividly sitting with Mary Ellen in some of those early meetings, and she would, with extreme deference, refer to Judge Sonner, Andy Sonner. or Judge Chasnow, could be Howard, could be Debbie. But her name is actually banned, Mary Ellen. Stop using the word judge. Stop calling these people judge. Now that you're on the committee, you're a colleague, get on a first name basis, join the club, and that's the way up that slippery pole. Well, lo and behold, she used first names, she joined the club, and 28 years later, she is the distinguished Chief Judge of the state of Maryland. So it's an honor to have her present me this morning, as it is my colleague, Jim Kenney. And then when I think about Herb Garten, Herb and I go back, not simply many, many years. And it's an honor, of course, to receive an award from someone so distinguished in the history of Maryland bar politics, but more than that, National Bar Association politics. And with Herb, it's not simply a connection, not over the years, but over the decades, between Herb and myself, but between the families. As I think of Herb and Sue and Alan, I can't believe the age they talk about for Alan. I thought he was still in his late 20s, early 30s. In any event, it's a real honor. And let me close simply by saying there's a lot of people who criticize some of the opinions I write by saying he can't always find the words. But when he can't, he would quote someone else for those words, generally someone like William Shakespeare. And on this occasion, I'm going to do the same thing, but it won't be Shakespeare. I live in North Baltimore. Herb and I both do, and within about 4 blocks of where we both live, there lived in the 1930s a distinguished poet, then widely recognized by the name of Ogden Nash. And in terms of what it must feel like to be the recipient, or even to be called the senior judge generally, I think Ogden Nash put it in the best of words when he said this about it. The tusks that fought in mighty brawls of mastodons are billiard balls. The sword of Charlemagne the Just is ferric oxide, known as rust. The grizzly bear whose potent hug was feared by all is now a rug. Great Caesar's bust is on the shelf, but I don't feel so well myself. That's not quite true. I'm kidding, fine. And I just want to ask everyone assure Pat Woodward that I'll be back at the oars this time Monday morning, once I've had the opportunity to say, without the hallucinatory mist between us, a thank you to each and every one of you for an honor which is truly, truly surprising. I'm Herb, you did please me this morning with this book, heavy as it may be. When I got the notice about a week ago from Rob Ross, Hendrickson, that you would be presenting the award, you had just come from Omaha Beach. He said, I would never guess what it was. And I'm fearing, what's he bringing back from Omaha Beach? And I had visions of an unexploded artillery shell. Maybe a coil of barbed wire, so the book is doubly great. But I do appreciate the chance to say thank you for a completely surprising honor, and one for which I am deeply grateful. Thank you all very much.